constantly grounding myself on what my mission is and who I am and who I want to become in the world.
Yeah.
And I'm in a fancy building,
Yeah.
right? I'm in a fancy like apartment building here in LA. It's, got all the bells and whistles, doorman, valet, like lap pool, like all the fancy stuff. It's in the middle of like Century City, Beverly Hills. But it's funny because I go downstairs and the valet, you walk right out in front and the valet is right there. And there every day is the most expensive cars in the world. I mean, princes live in the building from other countries, and it's just like I'm in the middle of it, right?
Yeah.
It's right next to my studio. It's convenient, so I don't want to be in a house right now, so I'm living in an apartment building.
Yeah.
And any car you can name that's expensive is there. The Rolls Royces, the Lamborghinis, the Ferraris, they're all there. The one of ones in the world are there. It's like absurd about these cars. And I love going out every single day with a $200 push scooter, not even an electric scooter, a push scooter, where I literally, like a razor where you push and you scoot. And I literally I go out the front door on my scooter and I weave through the cars, the $500,000 car here, the $1 million car here, for all these fancy cars, and I just push my way out and smile and say good morning, and I go to my studio. For me, that reminds me that, again, this is the same building where someone jumped out of who I was worth hundreds of millions. Reminds me that if I can't have fun with nothing, then what's the point of having all these things if that's the obsession? Now, again, I like nice things. I like comfort. I have a nice Tesla. It's like I don't like to have quality things, but when it's becomes my identity, like I need to have this, it's mine, like obsessing over for those reasons, I just feel like you're going down a slippery slope. And so I'm surrounded by wealth and reminded by it. How does it make me feel if it's portrayed in a certain way? Does it make me feel good? Let me just keep riding my scooter, pushing away, and I don't care if people judge me, look at me funny, think I'm whatever. For me, it reminds me to be like a child, childlike, to have like joyful energy, and that I don't need to obsess over these things.
Yeah.
It just keeps me a little more grounded.
I love that. And let's talk about grounded. You've built a huge empire, and we've talked all offline, and some of your goals and dreams and visions that you have for the future are, absolutely amazing. But while you were building, it's a two-part question. Did you ever hit a season to where you thought it wasn't going to work? It wasn't going to end the way that you wanted it to end? And if so, how did you get through that season? Because, a lot of people right now are like, man, I hear you, have these big goals, but I don't even see how I'm going to hit my regular goal, my normal goal, because of the pandemic or because of some obstacles that are hitting me. How do we keep people motivated during hard times when they hit, who just feel like quitting and saying, I can't do it? Because I know I've been there, but I'm just curious, have you been there? How did you do it? And can we motivate the people who are listening to us right now to push through as well?
I think I've been there a little bit. I've definitely been there where my business, I had goals for a certain year. Adversity struck, and then I had to shift and take time, and it didn't hit the goals, right? And it probably went down from the revenue from the previous year. That's probably happened once, maybe twice. And I remember just saying, okay, just like as human beings, we can't always breathe in and expand. We can't always be like doing that. You have to take a breath out and contract.
Yeah.
And then you can breathe again and expand bigger if you want to.
Yeah.
And you got to go back.
Yeah.
I think sometimes in business, like, okay, you can have a big year and expand, but sometimes you got to come back and like, okay, maybe you hired too many people. Maybe your systems weren't in place and you were able to get a certain way, but now you got to bring it back a step so you can go forward. So, a health scare, something in the family, whatever, things are going to happen. And that's why it's important to go back to those 5 steps where it's like, what are the systems and processes in place so that if you go down for a month, a week, 6 months, the whole thing doesn't go down with you.
Yeah.
Maybe it falls back, but it doesn't crumble to the ground.
Yeah.
And luckily, I've been able to build recurring revenue streams in place in my business that, because I knew like I want to have recurring revenue streams. So I've got 4 recurring revenue streams, monthly recurring revenue streams. So that if one goes down, at least I've got the 3 other. If 2 go down, I've got the 2 other. If if they're all going great, awesome, we're gonna have a great year.
Yeah.
So it's just learning, making lots of mistakes, figuring it out as you go, and being able to pivot.
I love it. I love it.